What we've got here is what we call our ICS switch panel. In its most simple form, it's 8 individual switches, which allow us to control any aftermarket automotive accessory on a motor vehicle. Over the last probably 5 or 6 years, we've seen a real trend from manufacturers to reduce the number of switch provisions that they provide in their vehicles. And a lot of our customers are asking, have you got something that we can control our light or beacon or light bar with? And we really saw a need and a void in the market for a simple switch panel that was compact, but also allowed us to do a few different functions as well. The ICS switch panel is very compact, measuring 69mm wide, 65mm high and 21mm deep. So we can place it in almost limitless positions around a vehicle. We looked at other challenges that the market is facing at the moment, and a lot of that is around space and just everything's getting smaller and more compact. So what we've done with this switch panel, it's a remote panel, so it only connects by a 3-wire data line, and it connects to a remote output module. So installation is much quicker and cheaper, allows more vehicles to be put out on the road in a shorter time frame. But what it also does is allows us to move all the current away from the actual switch panel itself, which is how we achieve the small size. Another feature that we've put into the panel is the addition of what we call 3 master switches across the top. What that does is allows us to associate any combination of the 8 switches to turn on and off by activation of a single button. So a lot of our customers might need to turn on multiple lights or multiple devices at one time. A good example is emergency service. If they get a call to a scene, they don't want to have to turn on their light bar and their auxiliary lighting and their rear lighting and their side lighting and press multiple buttons or turn multiple switches on. This can be done by a press of a single switch, so it means that they're responding quicker. It's meaning less distraction for the driver and the operator, and also when they get to the scene, rather than going back and turning everything off individually, they can turn them all off with one switch, or they can still control each circuit independent from the next. From there we decided, well, let's try and make the switch panel a little bit smart. So what we've done is incorporated onboard current protection. So in a traditional sense, you need to have a fuse for every single product or every single circuit that you're controlling to protect the device and also the switch from short circuits and potential damage and fire on a vehicle. In this unit, it does it all for you. So it monitors the current on each switch independent. And what that means is if there is a short circuit, the device will turn itself off. And then it'll monitor and have a look and make sure that that short is gone from the system. If it's gone, it'll allow the switch to turn back on again. If it's a constant short, or what we call in the industry a dead short, that switch becomes locked out and it alerts the operator so that they need to then go and address the issue and rectify it before it'll be able to be turned back on again. As far as programming the switch panel, it's simply a matter of pressing these top 3 master switch buttons together and holding them for 5 seconds. You'll see that the LEDs then flash red and blue and alternate red and blue. We can then just simply select what switches we want to perform the momentary function or the latching function, and then it's just a matter of, again, pressing one of the master switches and holding it for 2 seconds, and it's set, and it's as simple as that. The configuration of the master switches is another function that's performed on board via the actual switch panel itself. So in that instance, rather than pressing all 3 of the master switches together, you simply press and hold the master switch that you want to program. You press and hold it for 5 seconds again, and what you'll find is these LEDs then all flash. You can nominate which switch, which combination of switches you want to allocate to that master switch. When you're done, again, you simply press that master switch one more time, and that configuration is then completed. So because this unit works with a remote switch panel and then an output module, what we've also incorporated is LEDs on board the actual output module, which will indicate to the operator the state of each output. Not having a defined market for this and seeing that there really is broad application, we've incorporated a design which allows us to essentially define the function of each switch on a decal or an overlay. We provide 3 different configurations of overlays with different functions that we think are probably applicable for different industries within the general automotive application. We also have a standard blank one as well. I mentioned before that each output is protected, so you don't need to have a fuse. Each output is rated to 6 amps in a continuous state. Anything beyond that 6 amps, that's where the trigger point is for the circuit protection. We have the ability to adjust the programming of the unit to couple multiple outputs together. So we can put 2 together or also 3 together, which allows us to essentially provide a 12 amp output or an 18 amp output off a single switch. So it's really able to be sort of customised and programmed in a lot of different ways to suit a large variety of applications.